So the first thing that I thought of when I saw her was just how, I don't know, like free she came across. Like, you meet people and a lot of times they're just so repressed and they're so like life is on their shoulders and they're all so heavy about it. And we're young. I mean, yeah, she's younger than I am, but so I feel like I've seen a little bit more of that, and it was just so different, you know, just so free and like open and laughing and like nothing was weighing her down.
How did that make you feel?
I mean, it was beautiful.
How about for you?
When I first saw him?
Yeah, when you first saw him.
He was stable and confident, and that's not something that you get often, being a mom of 3 prior to us having ours together. And he seemed so sure of himself, and I'm attracted to that. And he seemed so in love with me and so doting on me all the time, and how beautiful I am and how wonderful I am. And I feel like now it's a lot of.
When did you both first feel? When did you feel like you first fell in love with her? Like that made that connection.
But it's important for me to say that that perspective hasn't changed. I still say things like, I think you're beautiful, and I still say things like, I want to help you.
So why don't you tell her?
I do every day.
Why don't you tell her right now?
I brought her flowers and she threw them in the trash and put pudding on them.
And tell her how that made you feel.
I brought you flowers because I love you, and that's what you do for people you love. Beautiful things to brighten their day that remind you that you're thinking of them despite of everything that's going on.
Freeze. So when he brought you those flowers, do you understand how that made him feel and what he was thinking about? Who was he thinking about when he got you those flowers?
Me.
So when you first saw those flowers, what was the first thing you thought about?
I was mad.
Why were you mad?
Because he brought me those flowers as an apology for not responding to me during the day when I told him I just needed to know he was safe.
Okay. So you were concerned about why were you so concerned about his safety? Was he working someplace or was
Yeah, well his job is like really physical and active, and you know, he used to there's no trust. So I'll be honest. I asked him if he was safe because I wanted to make sure that he wasn't out with someone else. And he didn't respond, and he knew that he messed up.
And those
so
were
he
all
brought me
feelings
home flowers.
of things from your past or because of the Tinder?
Crystal.
A little bit of everything.
Crystal. There were her asking me if I was okay and I was safe. I had responded to the 137 other messages she had sent me. Up to that point, the messages started. She had sent me one.
Would you say that's a bit much? The messages?
He's exaggerating. That's not the truth. It's more like 25.
How many messages do you see? All of this. Do you see it? Do you see it? Steve, are you there? Are you okay? What's going on?
187 messages.
All right, so maybe 300 and something was a bit of an exaggeration. Sorry, but I still think that's a high number of messages.
I think that's a high number too.
And I can't prove enough about
it must be exhausting.
And you want to talk about Tinder?
Yeah.
Let's talk about Tinder. Okay. How would you feel if you give to somebody? I gave her my child, for God's sakes, a piece of me. And she's rolling her eyes. So, like, obviously, that means nothing to her. How I feel means nothing. Like, I'm not allowed to have deep, important emotions about things that are serious. About a child, for Christ's sakes.
You brought up Tinder, though.
Yeah.
So, is that why you're using, are you utilizing Tinder for that? Or what is it?
No. But I thought about it, but I haven't done it. And let me tell you why. And I'm going to tell you why, because I've tried telling her that. Is that how would you feel when you can't help but want to give up? I don't want to give up, all right? I don't. But when the message is constantly get away, it's like if she could have asexually reproduced and left me out of the equation, like a praying mantis that bites the head off, and her face says that's what she wants. So I'm going to ask you now, is that what you want? Are you done with me? Because the way that I see it, and maybe she can help you hear this message, is that if you're done with me, be done with me. But if you're not done with me, put some effort into this. Because what I'm saying, nope, sorry, talking sponge. What I'm saying is, you're right. What I'm saying is, if you're done, be done. But this back and forth, I get the depression. I get all of that. And I'm there for Junior. And I try to be there for Junior. And you set up those boundaries, and I'm respecting it. But what I'm saying to you is that we're coming to this point. And I don't want to end it. But if you want that, you need to give me an answer. I don't want mixed signals anymore. Now I want an answer. Because you're telling me one thing and saying another. You're acting one way and acting another. So either that's it, and if you don't want to end it, then say so, and we'll put in some serious work here. But if you're done, then we're done.
That's a lot of information.
It's a lot of information. And I don't want to invalidate anything that Steve has said. But I would like to talk for more than 30 seconds before Steve feels like he should jump in. So please,
let's
listen.
give her the open floor to speak her piece and respond to where you at. Because you asked her a very, very important, life-changing...
I'm here because Steve asked me to come here. I can make whatever decisions I would like to make, and I wouldn't be here if I didn't want to make it work. But... that being said, last week we discussed our I sentences. What do we need? What do we want? Yes, yesterday I sent 187, 37, 332. It doesn't matter how many text messages. But what Steve's not telling you is that earlier in the week I was so good every day, and some days are bad days, but not every day is a bad day, and he negates that for me.
What's a good day for you?
A good,
because when you say good day, I want to know what that means, or what do you think that would be for him?
I don't, for me, it means that when I tell Steve that I'm sleep deprived at night, he doesn't look at me and say, well, I'm the one who works, so I need my sleep and you need to get up with the baby. When I tell Steve that I need help cooking dinner, he doesn't tell me that he brings home the money, he buys the groceries, so I cook dinner. And I think a perfect day for Steve is he comes home and I tell him how amazing he is and how thankful I am for everything he's done, and then I take my clothes off.
So
first of all, we know she's good at taking her clothes off.
Okay.
Second of all, a perfect day, let me just back this up. It might be a lot easier to be there if instead of shitting on me for not being there in the way that she needs me to be there, we sit down and talk about how I can. And when it comes down to you need to get up in the middle of the night with a baby, what she's not telling you is that in the times that I've gotten up and said, I'll go feed the baby, she has leapt out of bed and shoved me out of the way, literally, saying, I'm the only one knowing it. But see, that's the problem. I'm in a relationship with two people now. I'm in a relationship with her and with postpartum, because every time it's postpartum, like postpartum is a person. You can't, but you certainly can help me understand how we can work against that together. And what's happening is that you're going, here's postpartum in front of me, this is for everything that I do wrong so I can hold myself blameless, instead of saying, help me.
Can you give the speaking sponge to Crystal, please? Thank you.
Take it.
Thank you, Stephen. So, I think both of you have touched upon really, really great points. Now, I know that you have been going to treatment for your postpartum depression. Have you taken part in any of those sessions or
No, those are private.
No, I understand that they're private, but have you allowed him to maybe it would make sense for him to touch base with your therapist, just to have a better understanding of what postpartum is? Because I think where he's saying he wants to be there, but he's dealing with two different type of people: the woman he fell in love with, and then the woman who gave birth to his child.
I did not say that. What I said was I'm in a relationship with two people. Yep. Her and postpartum. Not her as a postpartum person.
Yeah.
Not her with postpartum depression, because she is who she is, and she hasn't changed, not since the moment I laid eyes on her. But postpartum is a thing. It's
so
become
since postpartum, you've been experiencing all these issues.
And you don't think I haven't read on the internet about it? You don't think that I've listened? You want to talk about my browsing history?
No, I would imagine that you, Steve, you're very,
you know,
Steve, I know you're a very bright man. You're very tenacious, and you definitely know how to access information. I'm thinking that whatever we read and whatever we learn about, it's different than where our significant person is.
You're right about that.
So I think if you felt comfortable with him, maybe going to one of these sessions just to see where you truly are. It may not help you get you back to the Karen that you knew, but it's one step closer to understanding where she is.
What I'm saying to you is that I just want to make something clear. I'm not looking to get back the Karen that I had, and here's why.
She understands that.
Because we're different now.
Yeah.
Now we're parents.
Yeah.
Now we've grown together, right?
Yeah.
And we've changed.
Yeah.
And when you want to be with somebody and you love somebody, you change with them. And so I'm not trying to pigeonhole her into this. You looked like this before the baby.
Mm-hmm.
You acted like this before the baby. You cooked all this dinner before the baby. Well, guess what? I mean, there are 4 kids in that house.
You want to be included.
I
Can I make a suggestion?
just want to know how to function.
I have not yet invited Steve to my postpartum sessions because Steve does a lot of this where I talk and he decides that how he feels is more important than how I feel. So I don't want to bring him to my sessions and it become a Steve session. That's why we're here, because this is about the both of us. If he can agree to come and listen and learn about how my postpartum is different than this person's postpartum or that person's postpartum, I can agree to have him come. I would like him to understand why I'm behaving the way I'm behaving and how to better help me, and I think that my personal therapist can help with that.
I think before we leave today, I think that I'm gonna have, and if this is if you guys are up to giving it a shot, because what I hear from both of you is you really want to try to make this work, but we haven't got to that point yet, right? So I think my 2 little suggestions, if you guys are open to it, is Steve, you attend and only listen to where she is for that day. You may hear hard things. You may hear things that you want to chime in on, but you are going to be a fly on the wall and just be there to support her. I think that's going to speak volumes to what Karen is looking for from you. Because again, it's not that you're looking to change her, but maybe it gives you a better insight of how to get through your point of view to someone who's experiencing what they're experiencing in the moment, in the now.
I totally get what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
And for the record, I totally understand where you're coming from. And I'm 100% open to the idea. I think I'm struggling right now with feeling heard by you. And I get that a lot of that has to do with postpartum. I get it. I do. I get it. You just had our baby. Like you created and grew and delivered a human being into the world with your body. So I would be ignorant and selfish and stupid and kind of a jackass to presume that didn't have some kind of effect on you. I understand. What I'm sending to you is the message. What I'm saying to you is that I'm still here.
I get that. That's why
I'm trying hard to find a way
So can I
to
make a
just find
suggestion?
some common ground.
I'd love that.
I think where I talked to about him attending one of your sessions, I think it would be great for you. Take a baby step, okay? And where Steve is really wanting to feel more a part of the things at home, especially with Junior, right? How about tonight, when Junior wakes up, let Steve take care of the baby. If you get a little nervous, because I understand where you are, I think, Steve, if you are okay with this, her just making sure the bottle is there, but just giving you the opportunity to step in, would that be helpful for you, even if it's just one first baby step?
I can do that.
Would it be okay with you if I woke up with you when Junior gets up and you can hold Junior and rock him, but I just want to hold the bottle so that I know what it's like to give my child a bottle. You can hold him.
You can hold him.
I'll follow your
I
lead.
just wanna be there. That's all.
You can be there.
Just like Crystal suggested. I
and-
just want to be there, and you can do the work, and I might give you some pointers because I'm his mom, but
Of course.
as long as you listen to them, then you can do it.
And I think too, it's important for you to, first of all, that'll be a great first step. Even if you just let him hold the bottle, and then you get to a point tonight where you even feel comfortable to let Steve hold the baby and feed the baby. I think it's great to give some insight, but remember, mom and dads, everyone does something different. They have a different style, but with the same needs.
I hope that she's able to see, and I know her. She'll. It might be helpful. I don't think that she's some kind of terrorist or like holding Junior hostage so that I'll stick around or whatever. Because I wasn't there last week anyway, so I'm not.
And I can imagine
the other dads are involved. So.
I'm not trying to not be there. Like, how do I not care about and love all of the kids?
Yeah.
We haven't even talked about them. And I understand that this is a new situation. Like, this is not just us. Like, we're not some long-term couple. Like it's been a year, one calendar year, there's already been a meeting, a move-in, pregnancy, insta-family. Yeah, there's a lot of pressure, but you deal with that as it comes. So I get it. I get that there's a lot of pressure. There's a whole bunch of other stuff. But like the song says, I'm still here.
And that speaks volumes to what you want and where you guys are going to be. And together you guys can accomplish a lot.
I think this one day at a time thing, one day at a time is the way it has to be.
And I think that makes sense. And I think another thing that we should think about and we should address, because I think it's been presenting a lot of issues, is the whole Tinder situation.
That's just garbage.
So for her, it's very personal, right? For you, it's garbage. So
she can watch me do it. We can.
If you wanted to.
Ready? You see?
Take it off of your phone is something you don't want.
All said and done. And you know what my password is, and I'm going to say in front of our therapist, go through it as much as you want, because you're not going to find anything in there. You're not.
I hope not. It wouldn't be the first time if I did, but and that's the thing, like,
the first time.
I can't say
for other people though, you're a part of this, and I think maybe this, like, I don't want to dig stuff up again, but like, stick it in your notes for later session. That we need to talk about. Part of it is this. I'm not. What was his name? Junjo, and I'm not Kyle.
I'm Barry.
Fucking Kyle. And
Barry was the first.
That guy.
But so here's the thing.
I'm not those guys.
I know he's not those guys, but I have trust issues, and we need to get past that. And
you have trust issues because
of past things, because of some of the things that he's done. Even though there's been no follow through, it's made me feel insecure. And like you said last week, perception is reality. So whether it's not what he intended, that's how I perceived it, and now I'm hurt. So,
and
like
my
you said,
perception,
I'm trying something new. I tried to be less needy last week, and now I'm going to try and let him take on this parenting role. So what I also need from him,
and he deleted that app for you.
And he deleted that app, and I appreciate that. So what I also need from Steve.
See?
That was my ex-boyfriend. Sorry. This is how traumatized I am. Like, it's Barry, it's John. I guess we forgot about John. But it's Barry, and it's John, and it's Kyle, and Junjo, and all of these people, and everybody wants something from me. And all I want is validation. I took the love language quiz online, and my love language is affirmation. And I'm telling him that I need to be affirmed, and the only time he's affirming me is after I've reached a point of upset. So I gave 4 days this week. I gave 4 days of laying off, not messaging him. We only called during lunch break.
Is that when he gave you the flowers?
No, he gave me the flowers after I had a bad day. Something happened at home. I told him, he didn't respond. I asked if he was okay, and then I was just sent into a tailspin and something must be wrong. And so he comes home with flowers without even ever saying, yes, everything's fine. And I appreciate that, but I'm elevated. He didn't want to do any of the coping skills that we had talked about to bring us down. And I told him, I said, all I wanted was affirmation, and I didn't get it. And I get that you couldn't give it to me at the time, but coming home with flowers doesn't fix the problem. You can't affirm me after.
Do you hear how I accept everything she said, first of all, whatever term that is? Validate, get it, makes sense. I hear it, I understand her explanation. But do you hear how she just explained it, and I didn't do a thing except bring home flowers for no reason other than to bring them home, but everything was my fault? She blamed me, literally blamed me, and shamed me for doing nothing but bringing home flowers. All of those statements she made, I felt, I put, I need, I did, I had, other guys did this to me, I feel this, I needed validation. He did not validate me, so I just carried all of that blame for doing nothing. That's a big burden to wear. So I am now swimming upstream when I've made no movement at all. I'm probably doing something wrong. Sorry, my perception is that I could be held accountable at some point for doing something wrong, by sitting here and talking to you. You were looking at Crystal and talking to her instead of telling me how wonderful I was. Or something
I guess
similar.
I shouldn't have gone
Talking
off on a
face.
tangent. What I was trying to get to is that last week we talked about the things that we needed, our I statements to go home and practice. I practiced mine.
Did you practice yours?
I did.
His was affirmation, and the only time he did it is when he brought me home his flowers. So it was really hard.
The only physical, tangible, put your hands on it,
Which is what we discussed
thing.
at the meeting. But okay.
Physical, tangible, put your finger on it, actual, touchable thing that I did last week was bring home flowers. She's absolutely correct. However, every good morning, every cup of coffee, every morning a cup of coffee, hasn't even gotten out of bed, she wakes up and there's a cup of coffee on the bedside, just the way she likes it. 7 creams, 3 sugars, and a splash of that caramel syrup that I go across town to Trader Joe's to buy.
Trader Joe's caramel syrup.
I know. Every time she gets in her car, there's a full tank of gas.
I
think that it's important also to recognize that maybe what your tangible things are and your I statement, exactly, and just finding a happy medium in terms of being very different people and connecting them in ways so that what you are providing for Steve is helping him see what it is that you need. But it's important, just like you need your validation, he's gonna need that as well. I mean, he's not really asking that.
I don't want to muddy this
Yep.
by talking about what I need,
Mhm.
because I really want to. I don't want to talk about my needs anymore, because the message that I got that is the new direction that we need
Yep.
to go in
Mhm.
is understanding that she requires validation
Yep.
and beginning to understand what that looks like.
And you have a clearer understanding today of what validation means for Karen. And do you have an
I
understanding
feel
of
like
what he needs for
right
validation?
now I would have better luck
Mm-hmm.
making sure that I did as much as possible.
And
I will.
like I said, I'm going to work on the things that he wants too, which is allowing him that time with his child and to feel confident as a dad. And I heard that, and I'm also trying not to nag him and give him his space because I heard that. So I get.
But understanding what his space is also, right?
Yeah.
And also understanding, just like we talked about, I think the new plan that we have for this week, so you staying home for this week, right?
Mm-hmm.
You trying to, when the baby starts crying, attempt to feed the baby, and also understand, you like you said, I think you hit it right in the head when you said, I want to help you with the baby, so that even if you get up he just wants to shadow you. And if he's given the opportunity, take small steps. If you feel uncomfortable, I think you're going to read her cues, because I know you said, you know what, even if I can't hold the baby, let me try it with the bottle.
I'm not going to scurry along behind
Yeah.
looking for permission to
No.
interact with my own child. What we're talking about here, it's not like that. It's not like every time I go near the baby, she's like, no.
No.
What I'm saying is, that's what I'm...
I'll be honest, it's a little like that.
It's I mean,
having
to a
hard
degree,
time. I'm having a hard time.
to a degree, but it's usually like when, let's say she's holding the baby, right? She's holding the baby like this, and I go to, like, I don't know, give him a pacifier or something because he's a little squirmy, and it's not like she's beating me with a pillow or anything. She's more apt to turn away and be like, no, he's gonna eat soon. So he doesn't want the pacifier, he needs a bottle, and she'll go do that. Or like I'll go to change the diaper, because you know that's what you do. He can't tell me he peed. And she's like, no, I just changed it, you don't need to do it. But we have